Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're exploring a really pivotal moment from someone's early life, someone who became, well, a giant figure. We're looking at an excerpt. It's from a podcast script titled Ambedkar's Railway Station Thirst.
Right.
And our aim really is to dig into how this childhood experience kind of set the stage for a lifelong mission.
A powerful starting point.
So let's set the scene. You've got a young Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar. He's with his siblings, and they're waiting at this railway station in India. It's hot, like really hot under the sun.
And right away, you feel that tension, don't you? This very basic human need thirst colliding with, well, the harsh realities of the society he was born into.
Absolutely. The script says they waited for hours.
Yeah.
Hours. And naturally, they got incredibly thirsty.
Yeah, desperate, you imagine.
But here's where it gets much heavier than just waiting. Because they were considered untouchables, they weren't allowed near the public water sources.
No taps, no wells, nothing accessible to them. It's hard to even picture that level of exclusion for something so fundamental.
It really is. And the script points out it wasn't just about rules. Local shopkeepers, people who could have helped, actually refused to sell them water.
Think about that. Refusing water to thirsty children.
Yeah.
It's a stark illustration of dehumanization, all based on caste.
And the fear factor you mentioned, it was palpable, wasn't it? Even people walking by who might have wanted to help.
They were too afraid. Afraid of the social consequences, afraid of being polluted themselves.
That idea of pollution, it just governed everything. Such a powerful, destructive concept holding sway over basic human kindness.
Exactly. It dictated interactions, even life or death ones, apparently.
But then the source mentions this small, conflicted moment of help. Someone did agree to give them water.
Yes. But with that crucial, heartbreaking condition.
Right. He poured it from high up, making absolutely sure there was no physical contact to avoid that pollution.
And you see, in that single act, that distanced, careful pouring, the young Bhimrao grasped something huge.
What was that exactly?
It wasn't just about being denied a drink. It was the why. It was the systemic injustice. He understood, maybe for the first time so clearly, that he was being seen as less than human, unworthy of even sharing water directly.
Wow. So less a moment of relief and more a moment of painful clarity.
Precisely. A visceral lesson in inequality.
And the script suggests this wasn't just a sad memory. It lit a fire in him.
A quiet vow, perhaps. Determination started right then, to fight this, to fight for dignity, for everyone.
You can almost draw a straight line from that thirsty child on the platform.
To Dr.B.R Ambedkar, the man who would later become a key architect of India's constitution, fiercely advocating for equality and fundamental rights. It's quite incredible.
So that thirst, that physical need, it became a symbol, didn't it?
A very potent one. A symbol for a much deeper thirst. A thirst for justice, for recognition, for an end to that kind of inhuman treatment. It fueled his life's work.
It really puts into perspective how formative those early encounters with discrimination can be. They don't just wound, they can ignite incredible change.
They absolutely can. These aren't just anecdotes, they're often the very catalysts that shape historical figures, and through them, history itself.
So I suppose the key takeaway here is that this wasn't just about a child being denied water. It was a profound moment of awakening to injustice.
An awakening that ultimately fueled a lifelong battle for equality, changing millions of lives.
It makes you think, doesn't it, about the smaller, maybe less obvious acts of exclusion or denial that happen all around us, even now.
That's the provocative thought, isn't it? What seemingly minor injustices today might be shaping the future in ways we can't yet see. What impact are they having right now? Makes you want to look a bit closer. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. You're tuning in because, well, you want to get the important stuff quickly.
And today, we have quite a story.
We do. We're diving into a really critical moment in India's history, specifically the fight against caste discrimination. And it revolves around something incredibly basic: water.
It's striking, isn't it, how something so fundamental became such a flashpoint?
Absolutely. So our source material today recounts a key historical event. Our mission really is to unpack its significance, what it meant then, and maybe its echoes today.
And it really does expose the deep-seated nature of that discrimination, access to water being denied.
Yeah, let's start there. Let's picture Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar as a child. The text mentions him at a railway station, thirsty. But he and his siblings couldn't get water. Why? Because they were Dalit, considered untouchable at the time.
You can almost feel the injustice described. Just wanting a drink of water.
Right. And that childhood experience, that humiliation, it clearly stuck with him.
Oh, definitely. The sources suggest this wasn't just about physical thirst. It became this catalyst, a thirst for dignity, for equality. It shaped his entire life's work.
Fast forward a bit to 1927. Ambedkar is now a major figure challenging this system.
A leader.
Yes. And the focus shifts to the Chabdar Tail, that's a public water tank in a town called Mahad in Maharashtra.
And Dalits were forbidden from using it. Still, in 1927.
It shows how systemic it was. This wasn't just one mean person, it was the whole structure.
Exactly. It wasn't just one tank. It represented, the widespread denial of basic human rights based purely on birth.
So this is where Ambedkar makes his move. He puts out this call, and it's powerful. Come with me. We will claim our human rights.
Imagine hearing that call.
Thousands answered. Ordinary people showing extraordinary courage, joining this march on the tank. What compelled them, do you think, beyond just Ambedkar's charisma?
Well, there was this deep, deep yearning for equality. Years, generations of being pushed to the margins, socially, economically. So the ground was fertile, you could say. Ambedkar provided the leadership, the focus, the strategy for action.
And the moment at the tank itself.
Yeah.
It's really something. Ambedkar leads the way, walks up, and drinks the water.
Breaking that taboo publicly, defiantly.
And then thousands follow his lead. They all drink from the forbidden tank. It seems so simple, drinking water, but it was loaded, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely loaded. It was so much more than quenching thirst. It was a direct claim to their own humanity.
Right.
A flat-out rejection of the idea that they were somehow less than human, less deserving. It challenged the whole social order.
And Ambedkar's words at that moment, they just cut right through. We are not animals. We are humans. We have a right to water.
So powerful, so fundamental, it reframed everything.
How so?
Well, it shifted the argument entirely. And it wasn't about seeking favors or slightly better treatment within the existing hierarchy. No, it was about demanding inherent universal human rights. That framing was crucial for the movement.
This event, the Chabdar Tail Satyagraha, meaning nonviolent resistance, it became a real landmark.
A milestone, definitely.
The text we looked at really emphasizes that it demonstrated something vital. Rights aren't just given. Sometimes they have to be actively claimed.
Precisely. It showed that waiting passively for change wasn't going to cut it. Direct action, even nonviolent action like this, was necessary to confront these deeply rooted inequalities, to force people to see.
And connecting it back. When you think about that young boy, Ambedkar, denied water at the station, and then you see the adult leader deliberately drinking from that forbidden tank. It's quite a transformation.
It really is. It highlights how profoundly personal experiences of injustice can fuel a lifelong battle.
That personal thirst, you could say, ignited a revolution against humiliation for thousands.
A powerful motivator, no doubt. It inspired so many others to find their own courage.
So if we're boiling it down, the key takeaway here seems clear. The Chabdar Tail Satyagraha wasn't just a protest about water.
No, not at all.
It was this incredibly potent act of asserting basic human dignity and equality, a crucial step in that long struggle.
It really showcased the power of collective, nonviolent action in demanding fundamental rights.
Which leads us to maybe a final thought for you, the listener.
Yeah, something to mull over. Think about the things we often take completely for granted. Water, yes, but also maybe shelter, food, safety, education.
Basic necessities.
Basic necessities. What happens when access to those is denied based on who someone is, based on their identity? And maybe more importantly, what can events like the Chabdar Tail teach us about the ongoing fight for justice and human dignity, not just historically, but, in different ways all around us, even today?
Dr.B.R Ambedkar, The Modern Revolution. This channel is on a mission, a powerful mission, to raise global awareness about the extraordinary life of Dr. Bhim Ramji Ambedkar. His journey wasn't easy. It was filled with struggle, sacrifice, and an unshakable belief in the power of education, equality, and justice. He wasn't just the architect of the Indian Constitution. He was a visionary whose ideas can still ignite change in the hearts of today's youth around the world. Whether you're a student, an activist, a thinker, or just someone hungry for inspiration, Ambedkar's story proves that no obstacle is too big when your vision is strong and your heart is determined. So if you believe in a future built on justice, knowledge, and equality, Help us spread his message. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss a new episode from this life-changing series. Thanks for watching, and we're really happy to have you with us on this journey. Stay tuned. In our next episode, we'll dive into another powerful chapter from the life of Dr.B.R Ambedkar, a man who turned his pain into power and his vision into revolution. See you soon.